Father's Day has passed, and again I'm reminded that I don't have any pictures. Mother's Day and Father's Day are the 2 days that constantly remind me that I don't have any images of my childhood. I don't have a picture of just me and my mom. I don't have a picture of just me and my dad. Before the creation of iPhones, you had to make a deliberate effort to capture a moment you never wanted to forget. You had to go to the store to purchase a camcorder, a camera, or disposable camera. Then after you got the film from the images that you took, you still had to go and get them developed. And back in my day, they didn't always come back in 24 hours. So part of me just thinks maybe we were really just that poor and couldn't afford it. But then again, maybe those moments just weren't that important. Or maybe we were just so caught up in the moment that we didn't even think to break out a camera. Either way, I still have my memories. If you've never experienced winter in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, you're definitely in for a treat with this story. I can remember snowbanks being so tall it felt like I was walking through mazes. The snow would literally be blinding. There's no way that you could look directly at it. And just as fast as the sun would melt the snow, it would freeze right over. My father would always want to take a shortcut and cut through the field. In the Westlawn projects right behind Byron Kilbourne Elementary, instead of taking the paved sidewalk, we would always cut through the field. Now with the snow, as it freezes and melts, it would always be a nice crunch to it. So he would crunch through the snow for me. He would always tell me just follow my footprints back home. That has always stuck with me. He left footprints in the snow for me. He didn't give me a bear or a doll, or I don't remember my father ever really giving me any gifts outside of Christmas. But the thing that I cherish the most is that my dad loved and cared enough for me to leave me footprints in the snow. I didn't get to know the man that so many other people told me about. I didn't get to meet the man who was an alcoholic. I didn't get to meet the man that beat my mother. I didn't get to meet the man that managed strip clubs. I didn't get to meet him. The only man that I knew was a man that loved me enough to make footprints in the snow for me. And it may have been selfish of him to just not want to take the long way and the path that would have been easier for me. But it's just something about those footprints that always stick with me. I remember in college, the first time I went to a party and I was able to smell what whiskey smelled like. And then it hit me that maybe my father does or did have a drinking problem. My father always had this little mustache, and when he would kiss me to say goodnight or before he would leave out for the day, I was 20 years old and finally figured out the scent that directly connected me with my father was whiskey. All those times I just thought that was the scent of my father, and that was whiskey on his breath my entire childhood. You know, in high school, when they ask you to bring pictures of you as a kid, I dreaded those days because I just didn't have any pictures. Even when I was crowned Miss University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff and they asked for pictures of me and my childhood, I had nothing to give. That may be why subconsciously, and I didn't even realize that I gave out disposable cameras on my crowning day. That may be why I make such an effort to make sure that we take family pictures yearly, at a minimum. Because I want my son to know that we had fun. I want him to know that he is so loved and so cared for, and that every moment in his life is memorable. Every moment. So, my love note to me is that, Liz, you're amazing. You may not have had a lot as a kid of materialistic things, but your home was so filled with love that you didn't even get a chance to see all the things that other people had to say. At a young age, you learned that love is a verb. No, your father didn't leave you with an inheritance or a ring, but he deposited the seeds that love is a verb. And sometimes you have to go the unconventional way to communicate it.